Martin was in the middle of forcing himself on Lisa. At first, she resisted, but after Martin slapped her twice, Lisa unexpectedly got turned on. Not only did she stop fighting back, she actually urged Martin to keep slapping her across the face. After the intense encounter, Martin, being a man of his word, personally drove Lisa back home. Before saying goodbye, he even kissed her, effectively cheating with another man's wife and putting a metaphorical green hat on Steve's head. Lisa, now thoroughly satisfied, was in an excellent mood. As soon as she got home, Lisa suggested that Steve should try to get closer to Martin. She reasoned that since Martin was running a successful business, he could potentially become a valuable business partner in the future. Clueless about what had actually happened, Steve thought his wife made a decent point. So that very afternoon, he visited Martin's aquarium, using the excuse of checking in on their daughter to strike up a conversation with Martin. At that moment, Martin was meeting with a client along with his attorney. The client, Thomas, was clearly an easy mark, completely taken in by Martin's slick talk. Somehow, Martin convinced him to pay 10 million yen on the spot for 2 arowana fish and even sign a contract right then and there. Watching the whole thing unfold, Steve was impressed by Martin's persuasive skills and salesmanship. He couldn't help but admire how smooth Martin was and figured it wouldn't hurt to learn a thing or two from him. To celebrate the successful deal, Martin's wife Annie enthusiastically brought out a few bottles of their secret recipe drinks. After just one sip, Thomas exclaimed how amazing it tasted and went on to chug 2 full bottles in quick succession. But within seconds, things took a dark turn. Thomas suddenly clutched his neck, started convulsing violently, and then collapsed to the floor. It was immediately clear that the drinks he'd consumed were anything but safe. At the same time, Martin's cheerful and friendly demeanor disappeared. He turned cold and menacing as he threatened Steve, telling him he now worked for Martin. If Steve even thought about exposing what happened, he'd end up just like Thomas. Worse still, Martin warned, his wife and daughter would suffer too. As if to make his point, he casually mentioned that Thomas was actually the 58th person he had killed. Watching Annie calmly and skillfully handle the corpse, Steve finally realized the truth. Martin wasn't making money because he was good at business. He and his seemingly harmless wife were cold-blooded killers, making a fortune through murder without the slightest remorse.